We're live.
Or GC from Facebook or Shiro on Twitter, and it's our first live Gunnerstown pub podcast after the game. We're doing this because we can't sit in the pub these days with more than 5 mates, unless you're all related, which is probably handy for like Norwich and Stoke fans, but it ain't too handy for us.
And the pubs are shut. The pubs are shut now, anyway, Gav. So
pubs are shut. They are, mate. 10. Pubs are shut.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, joining me this evening, we've got young Alex. How you doing, young Alex?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Good. We've got One Job Paul. How are you, One Job Paul?
Yeah. After that false start, I think I'm going to hide and press the buttons. I'm good, thanks.
Good. And we've got Was the Wazza.
Good evening, Gav, mate. Good evening.
Right, I'm going to go with you, Was, straight away. I thought that Arteta got the sort of starting lineup pretty much spot on. A few changes. Tierney come back after injury. Maitland-Niles come in as opposed to Saka. Louise was back in as opposed to the young Brazilian fella. Yeah. And El Nini started. What was your thoughts on seeing the lineup?
I mean, I was a bit alarmed. It's not really the 11 I would have selected, but as we've discussed in the past with Mikel, you've got to trust that he's got a game plan, and I do actually think that his game plan was good tonight. I think tactically we weren't far off it, and I think in the first half we met a formidable Liverpool side, and we really struggled to cope with them. But as I say, I think tactically he carried out his plan well, but unfortunately on the day, I think individual performances from players really cost us. And when that many players over the pitch aren't as clinical on the ball as usual, we don't take our chances when we get them, and things like that. You just got to really look at it and think on another day, you never know. And I think actually today the players didn't do Mikel the service, and I think he got the setup correct. Maybe question a few of the decisions regarding personnel, but as I say, you got to trust Mikel, and that's what he believed in. And unfortunately, we didn't get the result tonight. But not too down, but you never like losing.
No, like I say, I'm 100% with you, mate. I can't stand Liverpool. To me, they're one tiny step below the vermin. So. Like I say, I don't like them. I don't like the club. I don't like the man. Well, kind of like the manager. I don't like the fans. Don't like the players. Don't like nothing about them really. Anyway, what we're going to try and do now is sort of rattle through the game as it started up. So I'll hit you next, Alex. In the first minute, Main, I believe he took out Bellerin, and then in the second minute, on the other side of the pitch, he sort of threw a deliberate elbow stroke forearm in the face of Kieran Tierney. And that was the second minute. To me, it was a borderline yellow and then a borderline yellow stroke red. So in my eyes, he should have gone. Yourself?
Yeah, for me it's a definite red. I think he's purposely used his arm there, to elbow him, to hit him, whatever. It's a surprising one, really, that it didn't even go to VAR at all. It's a baffling decision, and I'm not really sure that we played well enough to win. But I think that probably set the precedent for us in the first minute. It was a really, really bad decision, and probably more concerning that it didn't even get looked at either.
Yeah. No, I mean, Paul, you the same opinion, mate? Was it it didn't even get looked at. I mean, to me, it looked like when Main went in, he leant into him with his forearm up. So I mean, that's deliberate, isn't it?
I think so. maybe he got away with it just because it was so early in the game. Sometimes the refs just don't seem to have the spine to make those kind of tough decisions that quickly. So I understand it. It's just, it's unfortunate, really, because Mane was like, he was a thorn in our side the entire game. I think he probably was the most dangerous kind of player for us.
Gav, just on that quickly, mate. It's really incensed me, that decision. I just cannot understand how Mane has gone over there with clear intent to push his arm across Tierney, and not only has he done it with his forearm, he's then followed through with a closed fist into his face, and the linesman is stood 5 yards from it, completely ignored it. VAR sat there, completely ignored it, and the referee's come over and clearly seen that something's happened, so he's just given him a yellow. And I mean, if that was the other way round, and it was the 3rd minute, and it was Granit Xhaka running over and doing that to Mane,
red card, mate, all over the place.
Yeah, it'd have been deported. Honestly, it'd have been that bad. They would have said, "Oh, Xhaka's punched him in the face. He's lost his head. He's got no control." And like you said with Mane, he was clearly riled up and hot-headed from the first minute. He went through Bellerin. Bellerin turned around and sort of said to him, like, "What are you doing, mate?" And then he's run over the other side of the pitch and got away with that. And I mean, you have to question that. I mean, we all know, and everyone knows, and I'm sure there's many other clubs and many other fans of other clubs that know that if that was the other way around, straight red, straight away, no questions. So it's really frustrating in the grand scheme of things, regardless of the performance and the result, when you cannot get a refereeing decision like that in the 3rd minute of the game that would change the whole game. So it's really frustrating.
Yeah, no, I'm like I say. I mean, to be honest, I was sitting there, right, and obviously I'm doing notes for the game, right. So I'm trying to be a little bit fucking professional, even though I've had miles too many fucking beers today already. I'll throw my hands up, right. It was Monday club after Sunday club. Do you know what I mean? After Saturday club for me this week, but it was just like I was sitting there thinking, and I saw the one on Bellerin. I thought, so I'll make a note of that, and I thought, no, I'll make a note of that. And as I'm typing it out and looking at the telly, he's done it again on the other side, and I'm like, what's he still fucking doing on the pitch? Do you know what I mean? Like, ridiculous. Anyway, let's carry on. I'll go back to you next, Paul, on this one. 14th minute, good save by Leno. 20th minute, they hit the bar from a deflected shot. 23rd minute, bad play out the back, and another Leno save. Up to that point, really, it was all Liverpool, wasn't it, mate? Let's be honest. They sold their hands up. They were fucking pissing all over us.
The thing about Liverpool is that they really capitalized on our mistakes. So, and they didn't even have to be very big mistakes, just like kind of minor bad touches, or just not turning quick enough, not responding quick enough to the press. They really picked up on all of that stuff, and they just they seem to know immediately where the danger lies from that point. So whoever recovers the ball for them is the ball's moved on, and it's immediately in an attacking position, and somebody's in our face and giving us a hard time. So I think we did well to kind of hold them off at that point.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe we can keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, I think the problem was at that point was that we couldn't deal with Liverpool's high press, and we wasn't getting the ball out quick enough. Was that down to us, or sometimes you've got to give the opposition a little bit of credit, even though I hate giving them Scouse beeps any sort of credit. You've got to give them a little bit of credit at that point, Alex, haven't you?
Yeah, I think Liverpool are probably the best team in the world at being able to do that. As you know, Klopp's probably the best manager in the world at the moment anyway. But he's always been like that. And a team like Arsenal who are going to try play out from the back, and Liverpool with the players they have and the speed and agility they have, they're always going to try and do that. I wouldn't say we played into their hands as such, but yeah, with some of the passes from and Holding and stuff, it was suicide at times. So they had a field day, especially in the first half. I thought second half we were a little bit better with that, but yeah, first half, we made it far too easy for them.
Yeah,
Gav.
And was that?
Yeah, mate. Can I just jump in on that?
No. I want to move the game on, mate. because we've got plenty of time for the analysis at the end, hopefully. So I mean, we sort of suffered really for the first 23 minutes.
Yeah.
And then on the 24th minute, we scored first.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about anyway, mate. So
Yeah,
that's fine. No, basically,
have a drink.
I was just going to say, as difficult as we did find it to get out, and as frustrating as we were on the ball, when it worked, unbelievable. It started again with the keeper. We moved out to Tierney, the ball down the line, flicked inside, and then we're away. And the pass from Granit Xhaka on the turn, unbelievable progressive pass through the lines. It was fantastic. Great ball out wide first time to Maitland-Niles. We got a lot of luck with the delivery, but we played through that press, and it just shows you, as good as Liverpool were in that first half, and as fantastic as they were at pressing and high speed, we still played through the lines. We still got out, and we did create that chance and scored a goal. And I mean,
well, that was our only chance in the first half, though, mate. Come on.
I'm trying. I completely agree with you. And Liverpool were fantastic. But what I'm trying to say is the positives are there that we did play through the lines.
We're still trying to do it, yeah.
And we did do it. We succeeded again. We played through. We got out wide. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a terrible mistake from Robertson, and Lacazette has scored the best worst goal you'll ever score. But at the end of the day, the key bit was, we got out, we broke through the lines, and Granit Xhaka spun, got his head up, and that ball out to Lacazette just created the entire goal because it stretched the whole pitch. And that's the kind of ball that we need to see more often. And I think that's where it gets frustrating with the likes of El Neni, that it's just not in their locker. And that's where. But on the positive, I just want to say we did break out through that Liverpool press, which was immense, and we have got the potential and the ability to do that more often with better quality players. I think that's positive. Again, it's Arteta's tactical knowledge and nous that he's getting us to do this, because we haven't seen goals like this for a long time.
No, fair one. Like I say, I mean, I think my issue, especially with the first half, is we wasn't breaking out of the press enough. Now, Paul, you're next, mate. You can go 27th minute. My only notes is Salah shoots, and then Leno pushes it into Main, who shouldn't even be on the fucking pitch, really. I mean, it was a hard. I thought Salah smacked it across at such pace that Leno done well enough just to get a hand to it. I mean, should it have been a stronger hand, or is Leno a little bit to blame for their first goal?
I think there were moments where it didn't seem like that Leno, the communication between the defense and Leno seemed a bit rough. I think there were some errors on all sides. I think they all kind of shared the blame in a lot of them. But in that particular one, he probably could have done better. Mane shouldn't have been sitting there on his own,
Yeah, all right, fair one. Like I say, and then from there, shortly afterwards, Robinson, who screwed up for our goal, Alex, he sort of just scored a goal that I'd actually like us to. I actually think it's almost the kind of goal that I think we will see more under Arteta, where it's literally the fullback stroke wing backs linking up. So again, anyone to blame, or was it just a good bit of play by Liverpool?
I mean, it's probably a bit of both, to be honest. I think Liverpool did work it well, but at the end of the day, Willian was absolutely in no man's land there. I mean, it's a good finish as well, but I think Liverpool worked it well, and then sort of Willian maybe chased him and then backed out a bit. It's just one of those. I think it's frustrating as such. That it happened, but it's probably a bit of both, I'd say.
Yeah, no, fair one. Right, I mean, the only note I've got the end of the first half is literally we struggled to get out of Liverpool's high press in that half, and that was it. And I don't think we're going to have any complaints about that comment, are we, boys?
No.
No, come on, shake your head. I mean, show me a beer. Anyway, right, second half. I thought we started quite well the first couple of minutes. I thought we looked a little bit positive. The centre midfielders were starting up in a higher position. And then Liverpool hit us on the counter break, and Main, who shouldn't have been on the pitch, smacks it over the bar. 48th minute, Alexander Arnold went over the ball and got a yellow card. 50th minute, a good block by Louise. I'll go to you, back to you, Paul. I thought Louise had a decent game, really. I thought, I don't think you can put any sort of blame on him, really. I thought he had a good game. You?
Yeah, I felt about all of them. I felt, I mean, Rob Holding had his moments. There were each of them had moments where they kind of, you were pleased that they'd done really well, and then each of them had kind of little tiny cracks, and those cracks were the ones that Liverpool really exploited. I didn't feel anyone had like a real Mustafi-esque kind of like shit show of a game. They all had their little moments where they kind of switched off, or there was miscommunication or something. So in the defense's defense, I think they did pretty well against that Liverpool side. I mean, it could have been way worse. I think they each had moments where they were great, and then they had moments where they were pretty average. And
Fair one.
That's how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, on to you was 58th minute. Laka was through on goal. I mean, I looked at it and I weren't jumping up because I knew he was offside. I think he was offside, but he's still got to put that away, hasn't he? Because the flag ain't up, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Even at kids' football, it's such a golden rule. Your Arsenal's number 9. You throw on goal 1-on-1. Just bury it, son. What's all this dinky donkey stuff? Just flipping. Honestly, it's really frustrating when you see a player of Lacazette's quality and you just be more clinical, be more aggressive in front of goal. He's always struggled. And do you know what? When we first signed him, I thought that was the kind of striker he was. I thought it was that aura about him. I'm lethal. You give me a chance in front of goal, I'm going to kill it. But really, he just lacks that decision in front of goal, and it is a big problem if you're Arsenal's number 9. But yeah, I mean, like you said,
he can't be out of confidence though. Do you know what I mean? Because I mean, he's scored 2 or 3 games running now.
Yeah.
So it can't be a confidence thing. I mean, I'm almost putting that one down so he knew he was offside.
Yeah. But,
you know what I mean? But again, play to the whistle, fucking bury it, and then look at the fucking VAR afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think if he buried that first one, he would be more clinical and confident on the second?
100%.
Well, exactly that
100%.
then. So that it's all in the mind, isn't it? It's all up there. You know yourself, and everyone's played football. You get that confidence. You get used to doing what you're doing, and it flows. Like I think Alisson was in his head. He was in his head after that first one. He didn't know what to do. He tried to dink him. And then the second one, he sort of tried to take it round the keeper when the keeper was about 30 yards away from him. And he was just struggling a bit, Laka. But it's them moments, like we're saying, you go back to that goes Desmond Tutu, and then the game's a completely different game. Like it's that important at this level. It's them moments, them key moments. And that's where I alluded to that maybe I feel like the players let Arteta down a bit tonight with individual performances, because had we been more clinical and had we taken chances, it could have been a different game. Not that we deserved anything out of the game, because we were poor. But the reality is, at 2-1, when we threw on goal, you have to take them chances against the champions.
Well, you're still in it. You're still in it. You're always, like, at 2-1, you're always in it. Now, on Alex, at 62 minutes, at 59 minutes rather, bit of an odd one, really. Xhaka went off, and Dani Ceballos came on. I thought that was a positive move. When the initial sub come up, how was you feeling?
I was surprised Xhaka was going off, because I thought he'd probably, like was said, he made a probably a world class pass into, I can't remember who it was, just before the goal.
Laka, into Laka's feet.
Yeah.
And I think he was a bit more progressive than El Neni, who obviously we know isn't the most progressive player ever. But I was surprised it wasn't him at the time. I think obviously Xhaka's he's a bit more mobile than El Neni, etc. And his passing range is far greater. To be honest, I was a bit surprised by it. But I think Ceballos, when he came on, was really good. I think he was positive with the ball. And I think in the end, I think there was one pass for the I think it was the second Laka chance, where I think he was brought on for that Liverpool playing quite high.
Yeah.
Obviously, we needed someone to break the lines a little bit, which he did quite well. But with regards to the substitution, I was a bit surprised by it, to be honest, for Xhaka to come off.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought El Nini, for as much as you can sort of mug him off all day long quite easily, I thought he was the better of the two for the game. Not for clinical passes. I just thought his positioning and his short play, I thought he was sort of more involved in the game. Now, at 62 minutes, Paul, we've done a great move. Laka's had another chance, and he's fucked it up again.
Yeah, he has. Somebody made a great comment here a little bit earlier, that Laka is a bit of an instinct. He's an instinct striker. He doesn't. If you give him too much time on the ball, he overthinks it, and then it doesn't work. And I think that's a very, very valid comment. I think in that one, it's a great. Edison's a great keeper. So, Edison, is that the same person, right? So he followed Lacazette, just watched the ball, and he didn't get suckered into committing too early, and it ended up looking like an easier save than it would have been if he'd committed early. Might have gone through. So, it's small margins. I felt encouraged that we at least held on to as long as we did, and it looked like we could have. I know they could have scored, should have, could have, would have, didn't. But I was encouraged by the fact that we held on until we got those chances, and we could have easily finished one or both of them, and it would have been a different game. So I'm encouraged in the sense, we didn't go 5-1 down in the first half and then watch Liverpool passing the ball around us.
Yeah, so, no, exactly. I'll go back. I'm reading some of the comments on the Facebook page. My mate George Lampshire, who's a very good Arsenal quizzer, by the way. Surprised at Xhaka going off. But in the half hour Tobias had, he was our man of the match, and you've got to, got to really go for that. Mr. Chang, Laka's got all the instincts of a sloth. Trevor's calling El Nini a water carrier. There's loads of good comments going on the Facebook page at the moment. Cheers, gents.
They're all on screen as well, Gav. They're all.
Yeah.
They're all
them up on the screen.
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right. We're going to the 63rd minute. Main, who should have been on the pitch, nearly scored again.
You're allowed to interrupt.
You're whacking them up, yeah? I can't. I'm watching that on my phone. I can't read it. I'm trying to click through screens and shit here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, right, 67th minute. Aubameyang was blocked. No foul. The ball's gone over to the other side of the pitch. Bellerin done exactly the same thing. Right? Yellow card. Let's be honest, the ref was a bit of a wanker, wasn't he?
Oh, he's pony, mate. Absolutely pony. But the worst thing is you've become accustomed to these referees. And the thing is, with the introduction of VAR, it's made them even more... They're just weasels. All these men are weasels. I cannot understand them. They take no responsibility. It's just so bad. The refereeing performance today, not that it's it has made an impact on the game, so it should have been a red card after 2 minutes. But the reality is his all-round performance, even the small decisions, minor decisions, he was getting so much wrong. Lacazette, they went through the back of Lacazette 3 or 4 times, just nothing at all, just play on, get up, as if he's too weak. He's got his body in front and he's fouled. And then, like you say, it goes the other way. And that moment that you said just summed up the performance, really. Aubameyang gets body checked by Fabinho, steps across him. He knew what he was doing, didn't have the pace. Straight up the other end, Bellerin, yellow card immediately. And you just sort of like, where's the... it's just... At the end of the day,
it was bollocks. Now, Alex, I know, like I say, I'm calling you young Alex, and that's a term of endearment, mate, because I know you write wicked blogs and shit, right? But as you may or may not be aware, we've never really got the decisions at Anfield, right? And that's normally down to the fact that they've got 30, 40, 50, or depending on how many tax receipts they put in for that game, 10,000 people screaming against us, right? No fans there today. Why was the ref just literally giving us fuck all? Because that's what it felt like. I felt like we got fuck all off the ref today.
I mean, it's like this Liverpool Man United bias, as we know. We saw on Saturday lunchtime when Manchester United somehow got a penalty after full time, which is the biggest cliche I think I've ever seen. Man United getting a penalty after full time. I'm baffled, to be honest. I think the decisions he made today were crazy at times. Obviously, we alluded to the Mane one in the first minute, the Aubameyang one where Bellerin does the same thing, literally like 10 seconds later is baffling. I can't even describe. I can't explain it, to be honest. It's just weird. It must be some sort of bias there. I mean, I don't know. Liverpool, Manchester United getting these decisions all the time. I mean,
and we ain't getting fuck all, are we?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Well, no, exactly. I mean, there's another example of this. I mean, we'll carry on. After that, Willian went off. Pepe come on. 68th minute. We broke their lines, Paul, and the ref decided not to play advantage at that point. And I've no idea why he didn't. Have you?
Yeah. There were some curious decisions, Gav. I mean,
that was another curious one, wasn't it? Because we broke their lines, we broke their high press, and Pepe was off on one down the right, and the rest blown the fucking whistle.
Yeah, and that's Pepe kind of lives for those occasions. One-on-one to turn Van Dijk into a pretzel would have been a great fucking thing to see. But hey, refs. What can you do? PG mold. Yeah.
No, fair one. 69th minute, Ceballos was fouled again. I think he was fouled 3 or 4 times. He was only on the pitch for about fucking half an hour. 75th minute, deflected shot, Liverpool corner. Then no foul from the corner, and it looked like we was getting back into it. And then it had to happen. Liverpool made a couple of substitutions which looked like they was trying to hang on. Because we're 2-1. We're still in it. We're only a goal behind.
Yeah.
And I think they took off Mane before he got fucking sent off, prick, right? And it looked like it was going to go either way. Do you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day, they got the goal from one of their subs. A smidgen of handball. I'm not 100% on this because I ain't seen it back, but a smidgen of handball for their third.
I think, don't quote me, but I believe the rules are now that the attacker isn't punished in that scenario, but defender is punished in that scenario. I think that's the way they interpret the law now. So I did think it hit his arm, and in theory, that aided his control of the ball. But if it had been a defender doing that, it's a penalty. But apparently, attackers get the advantage now with that scenario. That's the way they interpret in the rule, which is absolutely fucking batshit mental. But that's apparently the way they're implementing it now. But
I thought a handball in the box didn't matter which side you were on.
I think it's the attacking team are given, as long as it's not deliberate, the attacking team. Whereas if you're defending, deliberate or not, it's still given as a handball. That we could talk about the handball rule for flipping months, but it's just the shambles at the moment with that. But I mean, more than the handball, at the end of the day, the delivery into the box is too easy. Leno's absolutely silent. David Luiz makes a piss poor header, and there's no one to block the shot. So we've got 3 or 4 big issues ourselves there before we even look at a geezer half controlling his arm. But
I mean, let's be honest though. At 87th minute, we're 2-1 down away from home. Then you've kind of got to go for it at that point, and do you know what I mean? It's shit off us. If you lose 2-1 or you lose 3-1, there ain't no real fucking difference. But if you go for it and we scored and it's 2-2, then we walk away with a point. Alex, it's away to Liverpool. They're probably one of the best teams in Europe. They absolutely pissed the league last year. The fact that we battled and the fact that we was in the game or within a goal of the game for 87 minutes, I'm not 100% disappointed here. Are you?
I mean, the first half wasn't great. Let's be honest. I think the second half we had a bit more to us than the first half. Obviously, it's the same scoreline as last season, but I did think in the second half we were there a bit more. We had a few more half sort of opportunities. We progressed the ball quite well. A bit more in the second half. I mean, it's not nice to lose. Obviously, with the 60-game home unbeaten record, we ain't won there in 8 years. It's difficult to take, to be honest. But I think we can take a little bit from the second half in the way we sort of we improved a little bit. And yeah, that's all I can say at the moment. I think we can take a little bit from how we were in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, years gone by under Wenger, we would have got spanked. We would have been 3-0 down at half time. Let's make no bones about that. Paul, again with you, like I say, let's look a little bit forwards. We're back up there again for the League Cup, I believe Thursday. 7, 8, 9
How many
games.
times do we have to play Liverpool this year? It's like these fixture lists. It's like the Champions League. It used to be that we only ever played Barcelona or Bayern Munich. It was like every time that ball came out was Bayern or Barcelona or Bayern or Barcelona. I was like, come on, this is a fucking joke, Now we're playing Liverpool like 5 times in a month. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking forward, Gav. I'm not looking forward to that though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to be. I think both managers are going to put out at least 8 or 9 changes each. Do you?
Yeah, I think there will be heavily changed sides, but I think that will go in our favour. I do think we've got a lot of quality in our second string. Or you look at the players that didn't play today. I mean, there's a lot of players that weren't involved that I wouldn't be too displeased at seeing. You got Saka, Nelson, Pepe that are going to start the game. You got plenty there. Ceballos didn't start, so he might well start midweek, and I just think it could be an interesting game on Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yeah, but yeah, realistically, tonight as a whole, looking at this fixture in isolation, it's not the be all and end all. It's disappointing to lose, but the fact of the matter is, we knew at the start of the season when the fixtures come out, this game would not determine our season. Regardless of what happened tonight, we need to take the positives, move forward, have a bloody good week in the transfer window, and see where we can go, mate. Because honestly, with this manager, I genuinely do believe that Mikel Arteta is one of the top guys out there, top guys. And what he's doing at the moment with the limited resources he's got, as in he's getting the best out of players doing certain roles, but he knows and we know you can improve on them individuals, and that will happen over time. But he's got to get that midfield sorted this week. Otherwise, it could be a longer season than it needs to be. But he knows that. We know that. So, come on.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. Right, we've been doing this for 33 minutes. We're going to try and keep it short and sweet. Thank you to everybody who's commented. There's been loads of comments going on the Facebook page. I'm not sure what's been going on the other forums or anything. But yeah, cheers for joining us. And like I say, it's one of those. It's almost like we've improved, we've lost, but I'm sort of my glass is half full tonight, and I think it's just almost a step in the right direction. Do you know what I mean? We weren't completely outplayed, outclassed. We weren't completely on our game. Lacko had a couple of chances. If Lacko had banged one of them in at 2-2, I think we might have been able to hold on. But who knows? Anyway, yeah, I've drunk far too much today. I really have. I blame my mate Johnny for taking me. Fuck it. Yesterday, come out. I just want to go and have a chat with the restaurant by you. All right, no problems. 4 hours later, and about 6 pints of Moretti later, I stagger home and attempt to cook a roast dinner. And it's kind of gone wrong since then. Anyway, thank you, Alex.
Thank you. No worries.
Thank you, Paul. One job.
Thank you.
Thank you, well done.
Sorry,
Take
Kev.
care.
Thank you all everybody who's made a comment in the Facebook page. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll probably just carry on doing this. There'll be different faces and different names and blah 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 through until we're actually allowed to go back and watch the game in peace and quiet.
Please remember to like and subscribe and follow on all of these links that we've got here. It really helps us.
Exactly. Anyway, well, fuck Liverpool, up the Arsenal.
The Arsenal.
Up the arse. Come on, the boys.